The sirens cut through the night like a blade. In the heart of a quiet Georgia town, the hum of traffic had long faded. The only lights were from a 24-hour grocery store and the distant flicker of street lamps. But outside the corner market, a scene unfolded. 2 squad cars. One young man in cuffs. He looked no older than 23. Dark-skinned. Thin. Wearing a worn hoodie, scuffed sneakers, and eyes that had seen too much for someone his age. His name was Marcus Tillman. A grocery store manager stood nearby, red in the face. He was shoving cans into his coat, he snapped. Like it was nothing. Like we wouldn't notice. Officer Jenkins, a middle-aged white cop with a calm voice, tightened the cuffs around Marcus's wrists. "Son, why'd you do it?" Marcus didn't flinch. He didn't resist. But he did speak. And what he said froze everything. "I wasn't stealing from me, sir. I was stealing from my little sister. She hasn't eaten since yesterday morning." The anger in the manager's eyes dimmed slightly. Jenkins paused. But the protocol continued. Marcus was placed in the back of the cruiser. The lights flashed as they pulled away, leaving behind a bag of dented cans and a silence that hung heavier than shame. At the precinct, the intake was routine. Fingerprints. Mugshot. Questions. But Officer Jenkins couldn't stop thinking about Marcus's voice. The way it didn't shake. The way it didn't make excuses. Only truth. Before placing him in holding, Jenkins asked, "Do you have anyone to call?" Marcus shook his head. "My mom passed 3 years ago. My dad never really existed. It's just me and Kayla now. She's 9. Jenkins blinked. "Where is she?" "In our apartment. Unit 204 at Eastwood Court. Don't worry, I left the heater on. I always leave it on, even if we can't pay the bill." That night, Jenkins didn't clock out. He drove to Eastwood Court. And what he found changed him. Apartment 204 was a one-room box with peeling paint, flickering lights, and a space heater running next to a blanket cocoon where a little girl slept with an empty soup can beside her. She stirred as Jenkins stepped in. "Marcus," she mumbled. Jenkins knelt. "No, sweetheart. I'm a friend. Your brother's okay. What's your name?" "Kayla." "Have you eaten today, Kayla?" She shook her head. Jenkins left his badge on the table and drove to the nearest diner. He returned with pancakes, eggs, and warm milk. She ate like she was scared it would disappear. And Jenkins just sat there, watching this fragile, strong little girl hold onto life like it owed her nothing, but she still smiled. 2 weeks later, Marcus stood in a courtroom. He'd refused a public defender, choosing to speak for himself. The courtroom was filled with quiet onlookers. Reporters. Locals. Even the grocery store manager sat in the back, arms folded, eyes softer now. Marcus wore a donated button-down shirt and borrowed slacks. The judge read the charges. Petty theft. Possession of stolen goods. Intent to commit larceny. Marcus stepped forward. He didn't cry. He didn't beg. He just spoke. "I know what I did was wrong. I won't stand here and say it wasn't. But, Your Honor, have you ever watched your little sister cry because her stomach hurt from being empty? Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone you love and realized you failed them, not because you were lazy, but because the world didn't give you a way to win? I work nights at the mill, but it barely covers rent. When my mom died of cancer, I promised her I'd raise Kayla right. I didn't promise I'd do it perfectly. Just that I'd never give up on her. That night, I saw her sleeping on an empty stomach. I didn't steal for money. I didn't run. I walked into that store and grabbed 5 cans of food. Not for me. For her. I'm not asking for pity. I just want you to see me. All of me. Not the hoodie. Not the handcuffs. But the big brother who got it wrong, but not for the wrong reasons. The courtroom was quiet for a long moment. Then the judge cleared his throat. The law is written in black and white, Mr. Tillman. But life is lived in gray. He leaned back in his chair. You are guilty of theft. But the court is not blind to compassion. Sentencing is deferred. You will serve 100 hours of community service at the same store you stole from. But under one condition. He looked directly at Marcus. You show that little girl of yours that being a man means owning your mistakes, but also building something better from them. Marcus nodded. Not in defeat, but in resolve. Months passed. Marcus worked his hours. He stacked shelves, cleaned aisles, spoke to customers, and slowly he changed the way people saw him. Not as a thief, but as a brother, a man. The store manager started saving expired goods for him and Kayla. Jenkins visited weekly with care packages. Neighbors pitched in for school supplies. One woman from church even offered to help with tutoring. Kayla? She started drawing. Her favorite drawing? A picture of her big brother holding her hand in front of a grocery store. Above them, it said in shaky crayon. He was hungry, but never for himself. Pushpin presented by the Soul Script, where raw truth meets unforgettable storytelling. Speech Balloon. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the comments, tell us, what would you have done if you were in Marcus's shoes? Warning: this is a fictional dramatization inspired by real-life struggles faced by families across America. Viewer discretion is advised.